Wow, wow, wow. Damian Lillard, 61 points, 8 assists, 5 rebounds, and probably 100 women in his DMs today. Damian Lillard and Wilt Chamberlain are the only two players to ever score at least 60 points 3 times in one season. Not only did Lillard score 61 last night, he dropped 51 points the game before. And because this is such an incredible feat from Dame, other NBA players and former NBA players have publicly congratulated him. Dwayne Wade tweeted out calling Damian a different type of player, and here's a few more tweets from other NBA players congratulating Damian Lillard. Now clearly Dame is feeling himself a bit, just as any other NBA player would after having a 50 and 60 point night in back-to-back games. Dame was quoted saying, "Ain't nothing I want more." And on top of that, here's a video of him telling people to put some respect on his name.
Blazers behind Damian Lillard's 61 points.
And by people, I mostly mean Skip Bayless, or just anyone who was hating on him in general, but we'll get into that in a second. Now, for anyone wondering what caused Damian Lillard to go off 2 nights in a row, the answer to that question isn't that there's some girl he needs to impress or anything like that. The reason is actually due to 3 guys: Paul George, Patrick Beverly, and Skip Bayless. Now, for anyone who isn't up to speed on what I'm talking about, let me give you a quick rundown. And for those who are up to speed, there are some brand new updates to this after last night's game. So originally, when the Clippers played the Trailblazers a few nights ago, Patrick Beverly was mocking Dame from the bench. Keep in mind, Damian Lillard was in the game and Patrick Beverly was mocking him from the bench. And it's kind of like, how are you going to critique a player when you're not even in the game? But whatever, that's just my opinion. In that game, Lillard missed 2 very clutch free throws as well as a potential game-tying 3. Then, in the post-game interview, he was asked what he thought of Patrick Beverly mocking him from the bench, to which Dame said, "I've sent Patrick Beverly home before. Paul George just got sent home by me in the playoffs last year." Bleacher Report posted a picture of the quote on their Instagram, and of course Paul George didn't take it lightly. He responded to Damian Lillard by saying, "And you getting sent home this year, respect." To which Damian responded by saying, "Keep switching teams, running from the grind. You boys is chumps." And for anyone who may not know what Damian is talking about, he's referring to Paul George starting off in Indiana, then going to Oklahoma to team up with Russ in search of a ring, and then when he realized that he wasn't going to win a ring in Oklahoma, he went to the Clippers. So that's what Dame's talking about for anyone who didn't know that already. And then Patrick Beverly chimed back in on Instagram by saying, "Cancun on 3. So what does Skip Bayless have to do with any of this? Why is a 70-year-old man getting involved in basketball drama? Well, that's how he makes his money. But anyway, Skip Bayless is a master instigator. I couldn't imagine being his wife. One little spoon she leaves somewhere, and I bet he instigates a huge fight out of that. So Skip Bayless went on his iPhone, went to the Twitter app, and tweeted, "I'm still not buying Dame time," and apparently the Clippers aren't either. Whoa, big words, right? And when Damian Lillard saw this tweet, he was furious and responded to it by saying, "I have never been buying nothing about you, fam. You a joke. And after our private convo full of backpedaling, you will never have my respect." And of course, he added that clown emoji to show Skip how he really feels. Like, wow, it's like we're watching an episode of Keeping Up with the NBA players. They might give soap operas a run for their money at this point. But it actually does not end there. Like I said, Skip Bayless is a master instigator. So yesterday morning, Skip Bayless went on his show, and basically he just said that he is still standing by his comments. And then he pulled up some stats to talk about why Damian Lillard isn't clutch, and that he's had some clutch moments, but when it really matters, he isn't clutch. So then that's when Damian Lillard went off for 61 points last night, and Skip Bayless, like I said, he is a master instigator or a master troll, whatever you want to call him. He tweeted out, "Damian Lillard is playing like he's mad at somebody." And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I couldn't help but laugh when I saw that comment. And I thought it was pretty obvious that he was being sarcastic, but I guess it wasn't so obvious because I read through the comments and so many people were pointing out what was already extremely obvious. Like, yes, obviously Skip Bayless knows that Damian Lillard is mad at him. Why else would he have tweeted that out? I don't see the need to point out the obvious, but I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. And while I was scrolling through the comments, I came across a tweet from Damian Lillard's very own sister. Now, I verified that this is his sister. I looked on Google and I saw that he follows the account. Why would he follow someone with his sister's name and his sister's profile picture if it wasn't her, you know? So his sister said to Skip Bayless, "F off, hater, mellow voice. You no longer have the privilege to mention him in a tweet." And look, you guys, between you and I, and technically I'm making this this public, so now it's between me and anyone else who sees it. This is all one big publicity stunt by Skip Bayless. Like I've said 2 or 3 times in this video, Skip Bayless is a master instigator. He makes his money by talking about people and making controversial statements. And I thought that was pretty obvious, but maybe it's not after reading all these comments. So after all of this from Skip Bayless, if I try to look at this from Damian Lillard's point of view, yes, I can see why Damian Lillard is mad. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you work a 9-to-5 desk job, if you work at McDonald's, or if you're a professional athlete. No one likes to have their name dragged around on the internet. And even though Damian Lillard is rich and famous, at the end of the day, he's still a human being. So who wants to see another famous person with millions of followers saying hateful things about you on the internet? So from Damian Lillard's point of view, I can definitely understand why he's mad. However, and this is just my opinion, if I were an NBA player making millions of dollars, I couldn't care less what any sports analyst or what any hater had to say about me. But hey, I'm not an NBA player, so I'm not gonna say how someone should behave in a situation that I've never been in, so that's that. So now that we know what's going on with Damian Lillard and why he's out here playing out of his mind, what does this mean for the Portland Trail Blazers? So yesterday, the Portland Trail Blazers claimed the unofficial 8th seed. And some of you might be like, Ray, what do you mean by unofficial? And by unofficial, I simply mean that it's not official. So there's still a couple more regular season games left in the bubble, and if the seeding is close enough between the 8th and 9th teams, then they're gonna do a play-in game or multiple play-in games. And that's for a topic of itself. I'm not gonna bore you guys with all the logistics. Just know that right now the Portland Trail Blazers are the 8th seed, and they will still most likely be the 8th seed when the playoffs come around. But just know that as of right now, it is not official. And as a Lakers fan, I am scared to play the Portland Trail Blazers. Originally, I was already a little scared of how we were gonna match up against Portland, but now that I know that Damian Lillard is out here looking for revenge and trying to prove a point, I don't really know what that can mean for the Lakers. Granted, we do have LeBron James who steps his game up in the playoffs, but the Lakers are one of the worst teams in perimeter defense. And what are the Portland Trail Blazers' best players? Perimeter players. And granted, CJ McCollum has a reported back fracture. I'm not a doctor, so I don't know how serious that can be. It sounds pretty bad, but he's out here playing basketball, so I don't know. But regardless, I don't know how long Damian Lillard is going to be mad for. Did it end last night? Does it end after the season? Is he going to keep trying to score 50, 60 points on every single team the rest of the season? Because if he does, then the Lakers don't really have much of an answer for him. So that's what makes me a little bit scared as a Lakers fan. But at the end of the day, I always say may the best team win. So if Portland is a better team than us come playoff time, then hey, they're going to win. Now some more good news for Portland. Let's talk about yesterday's game and how you guys did. And don't worry, Mavericks fans, I'm going to talk about your game too. So your team is looking very good, not gonna lie. Carmelo Anthony, the guy who has been passed around the entire NBA like the breadstick basket at Olive Garden, is out here looking like a star. Carmelo had 26 and 8 last night, and he's had more than 20 points for the past 4 or 5 games. Zach Collins had 11 and 8 in 20 minutes. CJ McCollum did have an off night with 8, 2, and 4, but a few nights ago he had 20 something, and a few nights before that he had 29 or 30. So I'm not really worried about CJ McCollum. Besides his back injury, I'm not really sure how serious that is. And the Trailblazers pulled off this win with only playing 8 players. So yeah, Portland isn't looking like some bottom feeder team that we should just walk all over. And especially not with a guy who's going crazy every single night. So Lakers, if we play the Portland Trailblazers, that might be one of the most competitive 1st versus 8th seed matchups we've seen in a long time. Alrighty, now let's talk about the Dallas Mavericks for any Mavericks fans who may be watching this. Yes, Damian Lillard scored 61 points on you guys, but I have to give your team credit because he needed every single one of those 61 points. Not only for his personal agenda and whatever he has going on, but even with those 61 points, the Mavericks only lost by 3. And the Mavericks weren't backing down at all. Luka Doncic had 25, 10, and 8 in 35 minutes. And let's acknowledge the fact that that is a near 25-point triple-double for a 21-year-old in only 35 minutes. But coming from Luka at this point, that's not breaking news. That's just kind of what he does. So yeah, that's that. Kristaps Porzingis had 36 and 6. And overall, their entire starting lineup had a great game. They played very good team basketball, and they were exchanging buckets with Damian Lillard and the rest of the Trailblazers down the stretch of the game, up until the literal final final seconds when Tim Hardaway shot a 3 to tie the game, but unfortunately he missed and they lost. So this was a very great game, and it was just overshadowed by Damian Lillard's 60 points. But other than that, it was a great matchup where two teams fought very hard on offense and on defense. So to me, it doesn't matter if you're a Portland fan or if you're a Mavericks fan, you gotta respect what the other team did last night. That's my take for the day. Give this video a thumbs up if you made it all the way through. Comment your thoughts down below. Let me know what you think of everything I said. Hit that subscribe button if you're new. I post NBA updates every morning, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please subscribe to catch the latest NBA news. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye. If you're still here, consider watching this other video I picked out for you down below. Please just watch it. I'm trying to get to 300 subs, so go watch that video. Let me know what y'all think. And hit the like button on that video too. All right, see you guys.